Finally, there's a high-quality aftermarket LED headlight for your 2014 to 2021 Jeep Grand Cherokee. The Morimoto XB LED headlight is a bi-LED projector blacked out headlight that's 336% brighter than what you have now. Inside your new headlights, you've got 3 individual projectors. Now, these are a new type of projector that do both low beam and high beam with LED light as the technology source. They're totally integrated with LED. There's no halogen bulbs, there's no HID bulbs, there's nothing to replace on this whole thing. It's totally maintenance free with a 5-year warranty, and they're fully DOT compliant. The way that they work is all 3 of these headlights turn on to give you low beam. Then when you turn on your high beam, those same 3 projectors all flip open to give you more light on the road. On top of that, you have a built-in dual brightness white daytime running light. That's that C-shaped lens that surrounds the perimeter of the light. If you have the halogen headlights on your Jeep, you don't have that today. When you're driving around town with your headlights off during the day, it's a full brightness, super intense white DRL that looks like a modern vehicle. Then when you turn your headlights on, the projectors illuminate and that white C-shaped DRL dims down to 50%. But that's not all. That's also your turn signal. When you go left or right, your blinker engages, this top strip changes from white to amber. The cool thing is you can either use it as a standard on-off blink or engage the sequential turn signal. It's your choice when you do the install. But that's not all. These also have this cool built-in startup sequence. Check this out. Every single time you start your Jeep, it does this. You want to talk about standing up from the crowd and really enjoying your Jeep on a new level? This is one of my favorite things about these headlights. These headlights are designed to be a direct replacement for your stock headlights, and they're compatible with the halogen headlights or the basic HID headlights. If you have the AFS headlight, that's the headlight tech that turns as you corner, these won't work. Or it will, but you're gonna lose that cornering. These don't have that motor built in like the premium HID headlights on the Jeep do. These are gonna probably be a bigger upgrade to a stock AFS headlight too, if you're okay with losing that function. Seriously perfect if you got in an accident and need to replace your headlights, you're looking for something cheaper than the stock HID headlights with that turning function. If you have the halogen headlights, it's a piece of cake install. We're gonna show you that in a minute. If you have the HID projector headlight, they work with that too. But first, let's talk about brightness. How much better are the Morimoto XB headlights than your stock headlights for the Jeep Grand Cherokee? We're not gonna be talking about lumens. You can go read up on that on the product page on the website, but what we're really gonna measure is something called lux. See, we park the vehicle at 25 feet away and we use a digital lux meter to get a real world measurement of the actual measurable, usable brightness at a certain point. And then we swap out the headlights for the LED and we test it again. Not only does this give us a good idea for how much brighter the new headlights are, but also the beam pattern. You don't just need brighter headlights, you also need headlights with a better beam pattern that puts the light on the road where you need it. Here's what your factory Grand Cherokee halogen reflector headlights look like. This is pretty standard, unfortunately. By today's standards, this isn't bright at all, and it might not even be considered safe when compared to a more modern technology. This thing only comes in at 220 maximum lux, and in this same test, I've seen fog lights show up brighter than this. Honestly, the beam pattern isn't bad, but that dingy yellow color could be improved, and they're just not very bright. But check out what happens when we turn on the Morimoto XB LED headlights. What an insane improvement on what you have now. The color is more modern, more desirable. The beam pattern itself is way wider, giving you visibility across the lanes and potentially into the ditches. And these come in at 960 maximum lux. And what this is gonna do for you is not only allow you to see better downrange on the road, but you're also gonna see things off to the sides better. And if you ever take your vehicle on long distance trips at night, believe it or not, this extra brightness will help you stay more alert for longer into the night. But let's take a look at your stock high beams. This is the craziest looking high beam that I've ever seen. I don't know what Jeep was thinking. It's about double your stock low beam at 580 maximum lux, but it's pretty pathetic in terms of function. Check out the Morimoto XB headlight on high beam. 1,290 maximum lux. That's 122% brighter than your stock high beam, but that's not the whole story, is it? Not only is it way brighter, but this is actually a better beam pattern. You don't have all that crazy shapes that go north of the cutoff line, but instead, your main beam of light gets way brighter. Yes, there's some vertical extension, which is going to help you see higher up in front of you, but what's most important is your long distance vision increases, and that's exactly what you get here. Now we're going to pass it over to Morimoto Lighting for the install.
For this install, these are the tools that you'll be using. An 8mm socket, 10mm socket, 13mm socket, an extension, a ratchet of your choice, a Phillips head, a metal pick, needle nose pliers, and pry tools of your choice. All right, so now that you know all about the new XB headlights, let's get straight into the install. First things first, go ahead and pop your hood. All right, now with the hood pop, there's gonna be 11 plastic push tabs that you're gonna be removing on the top of your grille. You'll be using a pry tool to remove those, starting with the driver's side and then working your way around over to the passenger side. All right, now with all those plastic push clips out, what we're gonna do is move up to the grille part area. All you have to do is pull up on it just slightly, and this will help release it up off of the vehicle, so when you're removing the bumper, you can remove it fully. So now with the grille partially released, we're gonna go ahead and move up underneath the vehicle and remove some of the bolts underneath there as well. All right, now that we're underneath the vehicle, you'll notice there are 3 plastic clips. You'll rotate these 90 degrees and then pull them straight out. All right, now with those 3 plastic clips removed from the bumper, we're gonna move to the fender well. There's gonna be 1 plastic clip that meets the bumper and the fender, and we're gonna go ahead and remove that. Now with all those out, go ahead and remove this 1 10mm bolt here, and then there's gonna be 2 rivets here that you'll be removing. As you see, these are only 2 plastic clips for us, so go ahead and just take those out. Now go ahead and take this black trim piece, and we're going to be pulling it up and off the vehicle. There's gonna be 4 clips right here. All you have to do is tug on it very gently, and it'll release it from it. Now for the very last clip, there is 1 small clip on the very inside right here. Just using a 8mm deep socket, you can just push on the inside of the inner fender well and helping release that clip up and out. And do the exact same thing to the other side. All right, now with all that done, next what we're gonna do is pry the bumper up and off the vehicle. Starting with the very side in where the fender well is, we're gonna just gently pull on that. All right, now with the front bumper pried off, we're gonna go ahead and slide it slightly forward, revealing the back side so we can go ahead and disconnect those fog lights. Now with the back side of the bumper exposed, what we're gonna do is disconnect the fog lights. All you have to do is twist on the bulb area and taking out the halogen bulb. This is the perfect time as well to upgrade to the new Morimoto LED bulbs for your fog lights, so it'll even match to your new XB headlights. So the OEM incandescent bulb is not what you want on the front end of your Jeep Grand Cherokee. The Morimoto 2-stroke 3.0 is what you want. All you have to do is disconnect the bulb off the harness just like so, and then take your Morimoto 2-stroke and just connect it, just like that. And then boom, your fog lights have been upgraded. All right, now with that bumper up and out of the way, we're gonna go ahead and start moving over to these plastic pieces underneath the headlights. There's gonna be 4 10mm bolts we'll be removing. 2 will be on the very front side, and the other 2 will be on the side. Using a longer extension and a 10mm, we'll go ahead and start removing those. Now with all those bolts out, you can go ahead and just pull on this plastic piece and set it aside. All right, now with that piece out of the way, go ahead and just lift up on this plastic trim piece, revealing this 1 10mm bolt connected to your headlight. Now with that bolt removed, there is a little tab connected to the headlight. This is basically a locking mechanism for your headlight so it doesn't fall out. So with that removed, go ahead and just lift up on that locking mechanism and just pull the headlight forward. So on the back of the headlight, there are 4 connectors. Go ahead and just disconnect all 4. All right, now with all those disconnected, you can go ahead and set these aside. Now do the exact same thing to the other side. All right, now with both headlights out, we're gonna go ahead and move up to the fuse box area. we're going to be showing you guys how to install both your harnesses. Your kit will come with two harnesses. One will be the DRL harness, and the other one will be the power harness. Now go ahead and open the fuse box that's located behind the passenger side headlight. Remove fuse number F76. Locate the included DRL harness and plug in the fuse side into the fuse position F76. Also locate the positive voltage harness included in the box and remove this 13mm nut to install the ring terminal in, then install the nut. All right, now with both harnesses ran, we're going to go ahead and route them to the headlight position areas. And as you can tell with the DRL harness, one side of it is a tad bit shorter and one is a little bit longer. The shorter side we're going to be routing down to the passenger headlight, and the longer one we're going to be routing over to the driver's side headlight. You can also take your power harness and you can run this alongside your DRL harness while you're doing this. Now go ahead and take the shorter part of the harness, including the power harness, and you're going to route that to the passenger headlight. Just route it down to where the other connectors are laying and just set it there for right now. Then you're going to go ahead and take the longer side of the harness and we're going to route it alongside the body harness on the front side of your vehicle. And of course, at the very end, once everything's installed and everything's been tested, you can go ahead and tidy this all up with zip ties later on. All right, now with both harnesses fully ran, it's time to install the new XB headlight into your Jeep. Now there's one key factor that you need to know when installing these. There is a slight bracket on the very base of the XB headlight. With that saying, some Grand Cherokees have a slight gap underneath the headlight. And in that case, you'll be using the bracket that comes with the headlights. But if you do not have that gappage, you'll actually be uninstalling these and you won't even have to use that. In our case, we're not going to be using the bracket. So let me show you how to take that off. Now on the base of the headlight, there are 3 Phillips screws that you'll be removing. Now with that trim piece taken off, it's time to plug in the headlights. Now for your turn signal, you have the option of having a sequential turn signal or a standard. If you want the sequential, you would keep this connector plugged in. If you want the standard, you will just basically disconnect it and leave it like so. All right, now with everything connected, go ahead and install your headlight. Keep in mind, guys, also to keep that harness nice and tucked back behind it and just slide it right into place. Now, after running through all the functions and making sure everything's working properly, including that beautiful sequential turn signal, we're gonna go ahead and button everything back up. But while we're putting the bumper on and down by those fog lights, we might as well go ahead and upgrade those to a new modern LED bulb. That way your full front end of your Jeep Grand Cherokee is nice and updated.
When it comes to headlight upgrades for your Jeep Grand Cherokee, there is no better option. The Morimoto XB bi-LED triple projector is the best option on the market. It's better than stock, it's better than factory replacement, it's better than doing an LED bulb or an HID bulb, and it looks super cool. You don't even need to do a retrofit on these things anymore to get a cool looking headlight. And while you're at it, go to headlightrevolution.com, put in your year, make, and model, and we'll show you all the great lighting upgrades you can do to your Grand Cherokee to improve your driving safety, style, and lighting performance.